Hello all, welcome to part 24 of JavaScript for Beginners series. In this session, I am going to explain and practically demonstrate about classes, objects, class properties, that is variables and methods that can be created inside the classes, constructors, and finally the static keyword. So let's get started. First of all, we'll begin with objects, guys. What exactly are objects? As explained in one of the previous sessions, in JavaScript, if you have to represent some real world entities, okay, in JavaScript, if you have to represent some real world entities, then we have to create something known as objects. But what are these real world entities? Real world entities are anything that you see in this real world, guys, like as simple as a water bottle, okay, or a pen, book, bag, mobile phone, car, bus, okay, building, house, hut, anything that you see in this real world. Okay, if you want to represent the real world entities in the JavaScript programming language, then you have to create objects. That's what are objects, guys. But in order to create the objects, we need to create a class. In order to create this kind of or represent this kind of real world entities in JavaScript programming language by creating these objects, okay, we have to create a class. What are this class? What is this class? Class is a template, guys. Okay, class is a template, or you can call it as a blueprint, or you can say it is a factory which will create the objects. Okay, it's like a template, guys. It's a template for creating the objects. Simple terms. Okay, in simple terms, class is like a template or blueprint using which we can create objects or represent objects for the real world entities. Fine. So at a high level, that is an object and class, and fine. So class is a template or blueprint using which we can create objects. Okay, in order to create objects, we need classes. Okay, we need to create this kind of class in JavaScript, which act as a template or blueprint. Now, in the terms, if you relate objects with the classes and have to understand objects, you have to understand like this case. Okay, object is an instance of a class. Okay, object is created by a class. Class is a template using which we create objects. So object is an instance of a classes. Object is created by a class and is created generally. Objects are really created in programming language like JavaScript to represent a real world entity. And but for creating the object, we have to first create a class, and using class, we have to create objects. Hope you are able to understand. I'll give you an example, guys. Simple example I'll give you. Suppose, so if you create a class like car class, okay, if you create a car like if class like car class, then you create any number different objects like this, guys. Okay, you can create different objects using this car class. The different objects can be any car that you see in the real world, guys, that can be represented here. Let's say Maruti Swift VDI is one of the model, right? Then we have Honda Amaze, okay, Honda Amaze. Like we have Kia Seltos. We have a lot of other models, right? Hyundai, okay, i20, Hyundai i20. Then Honda, anything, guys, anything else, whatever that comes, maybe SUV. Let's go into some Mahindra, guys, Mahindra, okay, Mahindra Thar, okay. So like this, guys, any car you can represent with the help of this class, guys. Okay, this is a class. Car is like a class now. So this class, car class, will act like a template or blueprint for creating this kind of objects, real world objects. Okay, for creating this kind of real world entities, kind of objects in the JavaScript. These are objects, guys. Okay, like real world entities, right? Maruti Swift PDI that we see on the road, Honda Amaze we see on the road. Okay, these are the real world things. But in order to create this kind of real world entities, we have to create a template or a blueprint like this car class template. Hope you are able to understand the concept now. What is a class and what is an object? Now let's switch to the practical mode, guys, where I'm going to create this class template, and using that class template, I'm going to create the objects also. Okay, fine. I'll open this Visual Studio Code IDE, guys. Same example we are going to okay use. for creating the classes and objects, we are going to use the same car example as a class, and these are the examples of the objects. Let's try to use. So I have opened the Visual Studio Code. I'll delete the previous files and I'll create a fresh JavaScript file, say demo.js. Inside this demo.js, I'll create a class. Okay, I will create the template or blueprint using which we can create the objects later. So in order to create a class in JavaScript, guys, we have to use a keyword known as class keyword. Okay, class followed by the name of the class. What is the name of the class we wanted to create? Car class. Okay, class car, and this is the starting of the car class, and this is the ending of the car class. Okay, the starting point of the car class, and this is the ending point of the car class. Fine. Now inside this car class, okay, inside this car class, we have to create a template, right? This class is nothing but a template. This template should contain some variables and methods, guys. Okay, that is nothing but we call them as a properties. Okay, here you see class properties I mentioned. Inside the class, we have to create the class properties, that is variables and methods we have to create inside. Okay, so what are the properties we have to create inside this car class? Variables and methods. Okay, variables and methods inside the car class we have to create. They will become the class properties. So one of the property can be color, guys. Okay, color. I'll not give any values right away. I'll just put a semicolon. I will not initialize these values. Okay, color I will not initialize. So then we have cost of the car. Then what else, guys? Mileage. Okay, color, cost, mileage. What else? What else? Lot of things are there for creating the properties of a car, guys. Color, cost, mileage. Then car type. Is it a sedan or hatchback? Like that. Okay. Then fuel type. Is it a diesel car or petrol car? Okay. What is the model of the car? What is the company? Okay. Company make of the car. Like that, a lot of things you will get, guys. Lot of things. Color, cost, mileage, car type, fuel type, model. I think let's stick to these things for now. And one more single property I'll create is wheels, guys. Okay. Number of wheels does this particular car has? Okay. These are the several properties I wanted to create. Fine. Next one. Next one is, apart from having the properties as a variables inside the car class template, we can also have some methods, guys. Okay, methods. We have to create some methods. These are the methods are like actions, guys. Okay, these are like properties. I mean characteristics, and these are like actions that a car can do. What are the different actions a car can do? Start car. Okay, car can get started. Car can get started. So, and similarly, car can get stopped, right? We can stop the car. Car stop. Stop car. Another method I'll create. Okay. Uh, car details. Okay. If you call this method, all the details of the car will be printed. Car details. Like this, I created some three methods inside this car class template. And here, what should be there for sample statements? I'll write some dummy sample statements inside this methods, guys. Okay. So I cannot really implement a car class template, but because it is very complex. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to write some simple print statements, console.log statements. Okay, so that will using which we can know that whether this particular method got executed or not. Okay, that's the only reason. Console.log. Okay, console.log model. Okay, so here this model. So this model belongs to this car, right? So here, instead of saying model here, guys, instead of saying model here, we have to say this dot model. Okay, that means the model which belongs to the car class template. Okay, the model which belongs to this class. So we have to use this, guys, instead of using normal model. If there is another model here, what happens is this will be treated as a local model, guys. You see, this will be treated as a local model if you don't provide this. If I remove this, guys, if I double select, this will be considered, guys, rather than this one. So better to use this dot model. Okay, this dot model plus this dot model means the model property which belongs to the class. Okay, I'll append this with some other thing, concatenate with the okay of the car company. This model of the car company. What is the company? This company. Okay, here again you have to say plus this dot company plus has started. Okay, start car means this model of the car. Okay, this model of the car company has started. Then stop car also I'll copy paste the same thing, but I'll just modify it a bit, saying has stopped. Then car details. Coming to the car details, I'll print all the details of the car, guys. I'll print all the details of the car. That is, I'll say console.log of color of the car is, first of all, what first property is color, right? Color of the car is just give a space plus this dot color. Okay, and console.log cost of the car is, okay, cost of the car is plus this dot cost. Then we have mileage. Copy paste, guys. This will take a lot of time. Don't copy paste. Just copy paste and let's modify. Okay. And then mileage. Mileage of the car is this dot mileage. Then we have car type. Okay. Type of the car is this dot car type. Then what else we have? Fuel type. Fuel type of the car is this dot fuel type. Then model. Model of the car is this dot model. Then we have company. Okay. Company of the car is this dot company. And finally, okay, number of wheels of the car is number of wheel, okay, of number of car wheels is this dot wheels. Okay, like this I'll display all the, okay, all the details of this car class when this particular method is called. Fine. Anyhow, this is a car class template, guys. Inside that we have some properties like variables and methods. Okay, the car class template has some properties, class properties, that is variables and methods that we have created here. So this is how a class looks like, guys. This is a template, guys. Okay, now you can correlate, right, properly. Class is nothing but a template or blueprint using which we can create objects. Okay, so using this car class template, we can create objects, real world entities, real world cars we can create. So how to create them? How to create the real world cars out of this car class template? Very simple, guys. For that, we have to create the objects. Okay. Okay. We have to create the objects for this car class. But how to create the objects? So in order to create the objects, we have to use a keyword known as new keyword. Okay. What is a keyword? We have to use in JavaScript for creating the objects for this any of the classes. This car class, if you have to create the object, we have to use a keyword known as new. Create an object for which class? Car class. New car means this particular statement will create an object for the new class. But now I am going to put some circular brackets here. This will make this as a constructor, guys. Okay, here new keyword is creating an object for the car class, and this car followed by the circular brackets will make this particular thing as a constructor. What is this constructor? You will soonly understand, guys. Okay, what exactly is this constructor? You will, what is the advantage and all those stuff you're going to understand. You see, after this, after we create the objects and all, right, we are going to at some point of time we are going to understand constructors, guys, and what is the purpose of the constructors, etc. For now, using the new keyword, we are creating an object for the car class, and here we are making this car as a constructor. Okay, just put a semicolon here. This statement is creating an object for the car class, and also the car constructor has been created here. So what is this constructor and what is this particular statement doing related to the constructor? I'll tell you later. Okay. Now, guys, The moment you say new car here, okay, the moment you say new car here, in the memory, an object, okay, will be created. I mean, some memory space will be allocated for this particular object, okay, for whatever the object you created here, whatever the object that got created for the car class, okay, some memory got allocated, okay, in the computer memory, some memory got allocated for this particular object. So this is, let's say for now we don't have any name for the object, right? We'll say object one got created, and this is a memory that got allocated to the object one. Okay, fine. Now we need some object reference to refer whenever we want to work on this object. Okay, whenever we want to work on this object that got allocated some space in the memory. Okay, we need some reference. Okay, we need some object reference. So I'll give some object reference, guys. Here is equal to, I'll say, and I'll just give some object reference here. I'll say let name of the object reference. Let's say I'll give that as Swift VDI. Okay, Swift VDI as object reference I'm creating. Now here Swift VDI is going to become the object. This is the object reference, guys. Why we are calling it as an object reference? Because this is the only thing that we can use for referring to an object. Okay, that got created in the memory. Fine. So this statement is creating the object. To that object, we are using the object reference to reference it. Whenever we have to access this particular object memory, memory that got allocated for this object, we have to use this object reference. Fine. Now, what is possible with the help of this object reference? A lot of things are possible, guys. You see, did you initialize any of these properties here? Okay, any of these variables did you initialize for this car class? No, right? Now we can initialize. How? I'll say Swift VDI. So I'll just do one thing, guys. I'll just copy paste here so that I don't have to scroll up and down every time. I'll just do it below like this, and I'll say Swift VDI dot first one is color is equal to, okay, using Swift VDI object reference and accessing the color, guys. Okay, color, and color is equal to, what is the color? Let's say red color. Object is done. Color is done. Now again, using the object reference, I'm accessing the second variable, that is cost. Cost is equal to 8 lakh. 8 lakh rupee. Now third thing is mileage, guys. Again, Swift VDI dot mileage is equal to, let's say 22.17 kilometers per liter. Then car type, Swift VDI dot car type is equal to, let's say hatchback. Hatchback. Swift VDI is a hatchback. Then fuel type, Swift VDI dot fuel type is equal to, I'll give that as diesel. Okay, diesel type. Then model, Swift VDI dot model is equal to, the model is VDI model, guys. Okay, VDI is a model. Then company, Swift VDI. What is the company of the Swift VDI? So model is Swift, guys, Swift VDI. Okay, so company is Maruti. Okay, Maruti Suzuki or Suzuki Maruti Suzuki. Okay, fine. This is the company of the car. Then number of wheels that this Swift VDI has is, okay, so number of wheels is equal to 4 wheels. Okay, done. We are done with this properties. Okay. Now we created an object and we have initialized the things according to the object. So what happens here is, in this memory, all these details will be stored. That is, color is equal to, okay, to this particular object. What is object reference? Swift VDI. Okay, for this object which is referenced using the Swift VDI object reference, here color is mentioned as red. Price is cost is mentioned as 8 lakh. Okay, 8 lakh. Then what is that? Mileage is mentioned as 22.17. Car type is mentioned as hatchback. Then we have a fuel type mentioned as. In this memory, all these details are being stored, guys. Okay, in the object memory, all these details, whatever you are writing here, are being stored because of this. Okay, diesel. Then we have model as Swift VDI, company as Maruti Suzuki, and then wheels is equal to 4, like this. Okay, wheels is equal to 4. So this is what is happening internally. Okay, now guys, we can use this object. Now you have initialized all the variables, right? Now you can use the methods of this. You can call the methods of this car class. How to call the methods of the car class? Again, using the same object difference, guys. Copy this, paste it here, and say dot swift VDI dot call the first method, that is start car. Start car method is called. Again, swift VDI dot stop car, second method. We are calling the second method. Then swift VDI dot car details. Okay, third method. So these methods are also there in this object memory, guys. That is start car, stop car, and car details. All are inside the object memory only. Okay, fine. For this Swift VDA, like this. So when you call these methods, guys, what will happen is here already these properties for this particular Swift VDA object. Okay, these properties got initialized and stored in the object memory. And also when you call using the same object reference, if you call these methods, okay, whatever the values you initialized here for these properties, using that particular value, this methods will be running, guys. Okay, so for example, if I am saying swift VDI dot start car, this start car method will be called, and here this dot model is, what is the model we gave here? Model we gave is swift VDI. So swift VDI of the car company Maruti Suzuki has started, has stopped, and the color of the car is red, cost of the car is this much, 8 lakhs, mileage of the car is 22.17, type of the car is hatchback. Everything will be printed the way we have initialized here. Okay, let's run this code, guys. Let's run this code and just go here and run this code having this car and this first object created. I'll say clear and say node demo.js. I'm running this JavaScript using the node.js. You see all the details got printed. Swift VDI of the car company Maruti Suzuki has started. Swift VDI of the car company Maruti Suzuki has stopped. Color of the car is red. Cost of the car is 8 lakh. Mileage of the car is 22.17. Type of the car is hatchback. Fuel type of the car is diesel. Model of the car is Swift VDI. Company of the car is Maruti Suzuki. Number of car wheels is 4. Like this, guys. All these three methods got executed successfully. Now, so I'll just put a kind of statement, guys. You'll understand why I'm putting this here. Okay, in a while. I'll just put a line here. Okay. Thing here is, here using the car class template, the class template can create multiple objects, guys, not just one object. Here only one object we created. For that particular object, we are referencing using this object reference known as Swift ADI. But we can create more objects also. How to create another object? We can create another object also, guys. Okay, we can create another object also. Here also we can create, not a problem. I'll say new car. So the moment I say new car here, in the memory, another object will be created. Okay, in the memory, another object will be created. Let me name this object as object 2. Okay, for now, let's name this object as object 2. And does it have any object reference for now? No, right? I'll create the object reference. Let Honda Amaze is equal to new car. Okay, this is the object reference. Honda Amaze is, here is the object reference. Honda Amaze is the object reference. So this is the object reference. Now, are these properties initialized for the Honda Amaze? No. Only for the Swift VDI, these properties were initialized. But for Honda Amaze, we have not initialized. So in the memory, nothing is there. So, but let's initialize, guys. How to initialize this variables for this Honda Amaze object? For that, again, I'll say Honda Amaze dot color is equal to gray color. Okay, like this, you can create any number of objects, guys. I'll just copy paste, guys. I'll copy paste this all these things just to save the time, and I'll replace this Swift VDI with Honda Amaze. Okay, I'll copy paste this here. Honda Amaze dot mileage, Honda Amaze dot car type, Honda Amaze dot fuel type, model, company, wheels. Okay, here I'll change the property values. Gray, it's 9 lakhs. Okay, this car has 9 lakhs as a price. This is giving only 14 kilometers per liter, and this is a sedan, and this is a petrol variant, and this is a Amaze is a model. Amaze is a model, guys. Amaze is a model, and the company is Honda. The company is Honda, and number of wheels is still 4. Okay. Now, after initializing the properties, So all these details will come here, guys. Okay, color is equal to all those stuff. Okay, now since we initialized in the memory, these values will be stored. Okay, color is equal to gray, cost is equal to, let me fastly type, 9 lakh, and mileage is equal to 14. Car type is equal to sedan, and then fuel type is equal to petrol. Then model is equal to Amaze, company is equal to Honda, wheels is equal to 4. Fine, done. And again, it has this start car, stop car, and car details. Fine. This is another object that got created, and this object is referenced using the Honda Amaze. Now, in order to call this methods which are there in this object, we have to say Honda Amaze dot start car, Honda Amaze dot stop car, Honda Amaze dot car details. Let's do that. Okay. Honda Amaze dot start car, Honda Amaze dot stop car, Honda Amaze dot car details. Details. If I run this code, guys, if I run this code, this time you'll see that there are two objects, and using these two objects, we have initialized the properties for each and every object, and also we are calling the methods according to that object. Okay, using that object reference, we are calling. So proper details should be printed. Okay, let's run this. You'll see the difference now. Let's see the difference. So I'll be running using the node.js, guys. So I'll say clear first. I'll clear this text, and then say node demo.js. You'll see a different output this time. You see a line is coming between, because this belongs to the first object and this belongs to the second object. Okay, the first object is all related to the Swift VDI of the Maruti Suzuki. Swift VDI of the car company Maruti Suzuki has started, stopped, red, 8,22,17 hatchback diesel Swift VDI Maruti Suzuki 4. But here Amaze of the Honda company details are coming. Amaze of the car started, Amaze of the car Honda stopped, color of the car is gray, 9 lakhs 14 sedan petrol Amaze Honda 4. You see, can you see the difference? Like this, you can create any number of objects, guys. That is, objects are nothing but the real world entities. In this case, object is nothing but Swift VDI. In this case, object is nothing but the real world entity Honda Amaze. Okay, this is what happens, guys, in a class. Okay, so these are few concepts. Okay, now you are able to understand classes, objects, and class properties, right? To some extent, that's fine. Now, guys, we'll go. Okay, now you understood how the memory allocation will be done. Okay, whenever you create an object, a memory will be created to that object. Okay, a memory space will be allocated to that particular object. The how many number of objects you create, that many number of memory spaces will be allocated for that particular objects. Okay, fine. Now, so far we are initializing here itself, right? We are initializing these properties. Okay, here here we are initializing the properties, right? This is a place we are initializing, but I don't want to initialize here, guys. Rather, what I want to do is inside the car class, I want to create a method, guys. Okay, I want to create a method which will initialize the properties. So I want to create a method inside this car class which will initialize all this stuff. Okay, you see, tomorrow if I create one more object, what will happen? Again, I have to write all these statements, right? How many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lines for initializing. For each and every object, you have to write 8 lines for initializing the properties in this particular car class. I don't want to do that. Rather, I want to create some another method, guys. Okay, so I'll just name that as set car details. Okay, set car details. Some method I'm creating, guys. Okay, set car details method, and I want to use this method for initializing these properties. Okay, for this particular objects. Instead of writing 8 lines every time, if I have 10 objects, I have to write the 80 lines. You can understand the pain, right? That's the thing. So here I'll say set car details. What are the details I want to initialize? I'll just provide that as a properties. I mean parameters here. Color. Second one will be cost. Third one will be mileage. Fourth one will be car type. Fifth one will be fuel type. Same thing, guys. Whatever you are seeing here for the car, that I'm writing as a parameters here. Okay. So model, then company, and finally wheels, right? Finally wheels. Now, how to initialize this? I'll say this dot color. This dot color is equal to color. What does it mean, guys? Okay, when you are initializing, when you are calling this particular method and passing all these values, right? The arguments will fall into this method, guys, and that arguments you are passing to the car related properties. Okay, so this dot color means this particular color, guys. Okay, this color means this color. Okay, This dot color is referring to this color, whereas this color is referring to this color. Okay, fine. Now this dot means class related something. Okay, cost is equal to this cost. This dot mileage is equal to mileage. This dot class car type is equal to car type. Then this dot fuel type is equal to fuel type. This dot model is equal to model. This dot company is equal to company. This dot wheels is equal to wheels. Done. Okay. So this is one method we have created inside the car class for initializing purpose. Okay, we want to initialize all these properties. Every time we create an object, I should not be writing this many statements, guys. But how to overcome this? Instead of this many statements, I can only write one statement now. To initialize, I can replace all these 8 lines with a single line. What is that line? I have to call this method known as set car details. Okay, how to call? For example, here I'll say Swift VDI dot set car details. Okay, and here I have to pass all the details, guys. You see, when I hover the mouse on set car details, you see it's asking me to pass color, cost, mileage, car type, fuel type, model, company, wheels, and so on, right? So let's give all these values, guys, one by one. Color is red color. Okay, put a comma, red color, then 8 lakh, comma, then 22.17 mileage. You are passing all these values in a single statement, not all. You don't have to write 8 statements going ahead. Okay, single statement, which all these details are being passed to this method, guys. You know about the methods, right? Already explained. Okay, how to call the functions and all those stuff. Okay, functions have parameters. You can pass the arguments to the functions. All those things were explained in previous sessions, if you remember. The same thing happens with methods, guys. Just the methods are inside the class, nothing much. Maruti Suzuki, and finally 4. Okay, the last one is 4 comma 4. Done. Now you don't need all these 8 statements. Just call this method, guys, set car details method. That is enough. Okay, just call this set car details. You see, we have replaced 8 statements with a single statement. Here again the same thing, guys. Again the same thing. Okay, again the same thing. You can do the same thing, guys. Okay, you don't have to write this many number of statements. Just say Honda Amaze dot set car details, and in the circular brackets provide all the arguments. These are the arguments. Okay, you are passing them as an argument while calling this method inside the class. Second one is 9 lakh. Third one is 14. Fourth one is sedan. So no matter how many objects you create, you just have to write this single line for initializing the objects. Okay, you don't have to write 8 or those many number of lines going ahead. Only single line is enough. You see how simplifying the process is becoming because of the methods which will initialize for you inside the class, right? So Honda is done, and finally 4 done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do we have 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So something is missing, guys. Gray, 9 lakh. Okay, sedan, petrol. Here, Amaze. Then Amaze, company, and 4. What is that? That is missing. Let's see. Color, cost, mileage, car type. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, 8 is there. No need to worry. Looks like 7, but it's 8. That's it, guys. You see, if you create 10 objects also, you don't have to write 80 lines going ahead. Only 8 lines will be enough. Okay, for 8 objects, 8 lines will be enough, not 80 lines. Okay, that's how we have. That's the purpose of this method, guys, which is going to initialize our properties. Okay, variables. Now, guys, when you say Swift VDI dot set car details and you pass all these arguments, this red color will go into this color. Okay, and this 8 lakh will go into this cost, the set car details, and all these values you are assigning to the class variables, right? This dot color is class variable. This dot color is equal to color. This dot cost is equal to whatever the parameter value you receive that you are passing here. Like that, you are initializing the properties, guys. Let's run this code. It should work in the same fashion, guys. Okay, same manner, the same output we should get from the previous output. So let's clear this out and say no demo.js. You see, still you got the same output. 50D of the car companies, Suzuki has started, Swift ED of the car company Maruti Suzuki has stopped, color and all the stuff are properly printed. And also here Amaze of the Honda has started, stopped, gray, and all the details of the Amaze class are also got printed properly. Okay, this is how we can simplify the process. Now guys, I'm going to explain one more thing. Okay, we have used method to initialize the class variables, but there is one more thing. Okay, that is, in order to initialize this, you are going to specially call it, right? Using the object reference, you have to call this. I even don't want this statement. Okay, I want zero statements, guys. I want this particular thing to get initialized even without writing this statement also. I don't even want to. From 8 lines, we came to 1 line, right? If you remember, there were 8 lines for initializing these properties. But now I came to 1 line. But I am now saying that I don't even have to write a single line. I don't have to call this method at all. But still, my properties should be initialized. For that particular object, the properties should get initialized. Even I don't write the single line also, they should get initialized. How? How that is possible? So we are going to replace this particular method with a constructor, guys. Okay, we are going to create a constructor, guys, that is going to replace this method, guys. Okay, so we are not going to use this method. Okay, we are going to convert this method into something known as constructor. Just change the method to constructor, guys. That's it. Okay, there's no set at this moment, there is no set car details method. Instead, there is a constructor inside the car class. What is this constructor and when does this constructor will be called? Whenever you create an object here, new car, okay, you see there is a constructor here, right? This is a constructor. I was telling you there is a constructor, right? This constructor is automatically calling this constructor, guys. Okay, whenever you say new car constructor, this car constructor is a calling statement. Okay, you don't have to call the method specifically now. Just create the object. Automatically this constructor will be called when you create an object and all these properties will be initialized. Don't you think that is a very simplest process now, right? So instead of passing them as part of the method, just remove from here and put it here. That's it. Okay, you don't have to specifically call a method to initialize the properties now. Just when you create an object, just pass the arguments, guys. That is enough. Okay, when you create the object, automatically this constructor will be called. This constructor in the car class will be called with the help of this one, and all these arguments will be initialized here inside the constructor. Okay, all the arguments will be initialized inside the constructor. Now you see that single statement is also gone. Okay, that's the purpose of the constructors, guys. Constructors will automatically initialize. You don't have to call them specifically. Just create an object. Constructor will be automatically called. But in case of methods, guys, using the object reference, you have to call the method specifically. But constructors, you don't have to call specifically. Just create the object. Constructor will be automatically called as part of the object creation statement. Similarly here, guys, I'll remove from here and put it here. This is a second, this is again, it is a constructor, guys. Whenever you are creating an object, constructor is automatically called. You don't need to specifically call this method for initializing the properties anymore. So that is the purpose of the constructors, guys. Constructors will make the initialization of the properties better. Okay, easy, automatical kind of. Okay, now you'll get the same output, guys. You'll get the same output. You just have a constructor inside your car class. And in order to create the constructor, guys, the constructor will have this constructor keyword, okay, as a name. Okay, so it is not a method, guys. It is a predefined keyword constructor. This will make this as a constructor. Okay, it's not a method. These are methods, guys. Okay, whatever you are seeing here are the methods, but this one is a constructor. Okay, because we are using the keyword in place of the name. Okay, if you use some name in place of this keyword, that will become a method. But if you use this constructor keyword in place of the method name, then it will become a constructor. But anyhow, so you don't have to call specifically or manually. It will be called automatically when you create an object. Okay, so now let's run this. We'll still be able to get the same output, guys. Let me run it. I'll say clear and say node demo.js. You will get the same output. Okay, 50D of the car company Maruti has started. 50D of the car company Maruti Suzuki has started. All the details are same. Honda Amaze details. Okay, Honda Amaze details. Still it is working the same. So we have completed the constructors also, guys, and now you understand the advantage of the constructors and the purpose of the constructors, how they simplify the process of initializing of the variables, and how it makes the things automatic. Okay, you don't have to specifically call. Now the final topic is left out, guys. That is a static keyword. What is this static? I'm going to explain now. Okay, it's also very simple, guys. You see, guys, if you clearly observe, there is a common property, guys. Is color same? For example, here when you created two objects, color of this Swift VDI is red color, but color of the Honda Amaze is gray. Both are different. What about the cost of the Swift VDI and Amaze? 8 lakhs, 9 lakhs. Here mileage is 22.17. Here mileage is 14. They are different. Hatchback is hatchback and sedan, diesel and petrol, Swift VDI and Amaze, Maruti Suzuki and Honda. All so far all the things are different. But coming to the wheels, every car has four wheels only. Right or wrong, guys? Every car has only four wheels, right? Here also four wheels. Here also four wheels. Tomorrow, if I create another object, that car also is going to have four wheels only, not eight wheels, right? All the cars will have four wheels. That means this is a common thing. Every time we should not, right? For every object, you should not waste this much of memory, right? If you have 100 objects, this 100 wheels has to be created in the memory. That much space you are wasting, guys. Rather, creating these wheels as part of these objects, since it is a common, okay? Since it is a common thing, wheels is a common across all the classes. We can remove from here. We can remove these wheels from here. Just remove these wheels from here and make it as a common property. Okay, we should not have the wheels as an object property, guys. Each and every object should not have wheels. Rather, it should become a common property. Okay, some centralized or common property. How to make that as a common? Simple, guys. Just make this wheels as static, guys. Just make this wheels as static and remove wheels from everywhere, guys. Okay, you should not be initializing the wheels and all those stuff. Okay, just remove this. Okay, just say static wheels is equal to, directly here mention 4, guys. You don't have to initialize it. Okay, you don't have to initialize the wheels, guys, because wheels is a common thing. Okay, wheels is a common thing. All the classes, all the cars will have the same number of wheels. Why to initialize for each and every object if it is going to have the same 4 number of wheels? So I'll just make it static. Okay, I just need to add the static keyword before the wheels and I'll assign some value here. And I'm not initializing anymore. You see, in this constructor is not initializing the wheels anymore. And also I'll not be printing it like this here. Okay, I'll just remove all the stuff. So now, guys, wheels is a common thing now. Okay, so there is no wheels as part of the object. There is no wheels now. Okay, I'll just remove these wheels from here. There is no wheels anymore inside the objects. Okay, you don't have to initialize wheels anymore. Okay, you don't have to initialize wheels anymore. So when I make something as static, guys, static means what, guys? Static. These properties are not static, but this property wheels is a static. What is the difference between the static and non-static? What is the difference between the static and non-static? Non-static. Static means common. Common things. Common things need to be made static. Non-common things, okay, which change across objects. Different objects will have different property values. Those are non-common. Okay, if all the properties, all the objects have the same, okay, same value, then it should be made common, like wheels. Okay, number of wheels for Swift VDI is same 4. Number of wheels for Honda Amaze is same, that is 4. So such kind of properties you have to make common, guys, and these common properties will be created in class memory. Which memory? Class memory. Okay, when you make something as static and common, that will belong to which memory? Class memory. Whereas non-static things which are not common across different objects doesn't belong to the class memory, they belong to object memory. Okay, so here non-common things are in the objects. You see, object 1 has non-common things and object 2 now has non-common things. Wheels is a common thing, so it cannot be part of the objects. It has to be part of another memory known as class memory. What is a class? Car, right? Car is a class. Okay, car is a class, and the memory has wheels is equal to 4. This is a common memory now, guys. Okay, when you make something, I have made wheels as static, guys. The moment I made wheels as static, it belonged to the class memory, not the object memory, and it is a common memory. Okay, so tomorrow you should not be printing like this, right? You should not be when you say car details, 4 should not be printed, right? So this 4 should not be, you should not be passing 4 also here. This 4 is no more. You are not passing 4 as part of the object memory. Now the 4 belongs to the class memory. Whenever you want to access the number of wheels of the car, okay, whenever you want to access the number of wheels of the car, okay, you should not be accessing using the object reference. Okay, now wheels doesn't belong to the object memory. Okay, whatever that belong to the object memory, you are using the object reference to access. But now wheels belongs to the static, okay, common thing, that is class memory. Wheels belong to class memory. So In order to access wheels, guys, we have to use the class name, not the object reference. In order to use the wheels, in order to access the number of wheels, we have to, okay, we have to use class instead of the object reference. Okay, this is object reference. These are all object reference, guys. Okay, but in order to access the wheels, we have to say car, name of the class, that is car dot wheels, you have to say. Okay, this is the proper way of doing. Okay, static stuff need to be accessed using the class. Okay, because they belong to the class memory. Now I'll put this inside the console.log of. Okay, I'll say car dot wheels. Okay, I'll just put some text also here. Number of wheels of the car is car dot wheels. That's it. Okay, number of wheels of the car is. Whenever you want to access the static, okay, properties, you have to access using the class. Okay, class dot, instead of, you should not say swift vdi dot wheels. That's not correct. Car dot wheels is correct. Okay, static stuff, that is common stuff. The common stuff will belong to the class memory, should be accessed using the class name itself, not the object reference. That's what you have to understand. Okay, now run this code, you'll get this, guys. Let's put it at the end, guys. Otherwise, let's put it at the end, because all the cars have the same number of wheels. So number of wheels the car has is car dot wheels. Okay, now run this. Run this, you will get that printed properly. Okay, so let's run this first. Clear node demo.js. You see at the end you got number of wheels of the car is 4. Okay, this is a static, belongs to the, it has become static, guys. Wheels has become static and it belongs to the class memory now. It's a common memory, that is class memory, not the object memory. Object memory will have different properties. Okay, different values for different things. Okay, but class will have the common stuff. Class will have the common stuff. Fine. Now, what if, can I access this wheel still using the Swift VDI? Can I do that? Just try, guys. What will happen? Swift VDI. Okay, I'm trying to access this common thing with the help of Swift VDI, but this is not there in the Swift VDI memory anymore. But what will happen? Let's see. Okay, let's run and see. Let's run and see what will happen. Node demo.js. What you got, guys? Did you get the value? No, right? You thought it will be coming as 4, right? But it is undefined, because these wheels no more belong to the object memory, it belongs to the class memory. Okay, that's why you are getting undefined. You cannot use object reference for accessing the static variables. Okay, you have to use class name only. Car dot wheels is the correct way, then only it will work, otherwise it's not going to work. So accessing static variables and static methods using class. Okay, we have to access static variables and static methods because they belong to the class memory. Not only the properties, guys, not only the variables, guys, you can also have the methods as static, guys. Okay, you can create some methods here. Let's say I'll create a method here. Let's say print wheels. Okay, print wheels method I'm creating, and I'm just have to make this static, guys. Okay, I'm just making this method as static. So here I'll say console.log of, okay, uh, number of wheels. Number of wheels is equal to, I'll say R4. Okay, like simple. Number of wheels are 4. I'll simply say number of wheels are 4. Simple. Okay. Now to call this method, since this method is also a static type, okay, which belong to the class memory. Okay, this belongs to the class memory because it is provided with static, guys. Not only the variables, guys, not only the variables like wheels can be provided as static, but also the methods also can be provided as static, guys, and they also belong to the class memory. They doesn't belong to the object memory. Okay, here that print wheels doesn't belong to the object memory, guys. Print wheels belong to the object, that is class memory. Okay, class memory, common memory. So in order to access the same method, the same thing applies, guys. Here also I have to say car dot print wheels. Okay, car dot print wheels, I have to access like this. If I try to access using swift vdi dot print wheels, it will not work out. Okay, you have to say class name dot print wheels. Okay, so that is the funda, guys, nothing much. So you have to access the static variables and static methods using class, whereas in order to access the non-static stuff, that is non-common memory stuff, that is object stuff, we have to use object reference. Okay, we should not be accessing the object stuff using, for example, here color is there. Color belongs to the object memory. Okay, the object memory. Can I use name of the class to access this color? It is not possible, guys. Okay, it's not possible. So if I say console dot log of, okay, if I say car dot color, This is not correct, guys, because color is a not a common memory thing. It is not a static thing. It's a non-static thing which belongs to object memory, but you are trying to access it using the class, which is not a correct thing. Okay, so it should not work. So let me run this code again. So this time I'm trying to access non-static stuff, that is object stuff, with the help of the class, which is not correct. Okay, demo.js. Again, you got undefined. You got undefined here. You see, you got undefined because this is not the correct way. Okay, in order to access the non-static stuff, you have to use the object reference. Okay, that is the only way. Hope guys you understood all the things about the static keyword now. Okay, if you have to access static variables and static methods, you have to use class. If you have to access non-static stuff with non-static stuff, then you have to use object reference. You cannot use class. Okay, you cannot use class. Non-static means object stuff should be done accessed using the object reference. Static means class stuff should be accessed using the class stuff. Okay, that's what, guys. That's all about the static keyword, guys. Hope guys you understood a lot of things in this session, that is classes, objects, class properties, constructors, static. Okay, all these things I have explained in this session, guys. So there are few more OOPS concepts that I have to cover. Okay, apart from whatever the OOPS concept I covered in this session, there are few more OOPS concepts that I have to cover, like inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and many more. Okay, which will be covered in the upcoming sessions. So that's all for this session, guys. See you in the next video session. Thank you. Bye.